I'm Ed.
I'm John.
And this is Small Town Puller. Last time we worked on a little pedal tractor. Today we're going to keep working on it. We're supposed to have this thing ready for a Christmas present. So today we're going to work on the front end. Maybe be able to get it mocked up so we can start building the wheelie bars. Ready?
Yep.
Alright, so this was where we kind of left off last time. This is going to be our new front end. It is way heavier than what we need to have on here for a pedal tractor, but it is what I had. The reason we're doing this is because we want the front end to sit down lower on the tractor. So if you look where the pivot point was there, we're going to end up dropping it around a ½ inch, maybe a little bit more by the time we get the spindles up in here. We'll end up putting different wheels on it too. They'll be about the same size, but we're trying to retain the factory spindle and factory steering mechanism. We're just going to run this upside down and attach it to the spindles the way they were. I think that will all work out. We'll find out if it doesn't, but we're hoping it does. After that, then we're going to try to mock up everything again. We still don't have the tubes in for the tires yet, so we can't actually seat them up and get them sitting on the bead nice, but we have to paint them regardless. And then the tractor will eventually be painted John Deere green and black. This is just kind of an off-brand pedal tractor that Ertl made, but I do feel it kind of resembles a John Deere 7800, so we're going to end up kind of painting it like that. The kit it's going for, they're kind of a John Deere family, so it's going to be John Deere. It's going to be a John Deere. So we're going to start by cutting this out. We need to drop this down a little bit to get it the same height of what this was, so the spindle will sit in there, and hopefully get the holes drilled and get the spindle sitting in here today. So Jonathan's getting the helmets ready. We got the pieces cut. We had to run out to a hardware store, grab a couple pieces of steel. I didn't have anything sitting around. We cut some flat steel. We'll end up putting a little bit of weld right in here, kind of bevel that up a little bit, get a little bit better look. We're gonna have to trim these corners just a little bit yet to get these pieces to fit the way I want. The plan is to also take, and after we drill the hole for the spindles, to kind of curve these edges a little bit to make them look a little bit nicer. Otherwise, we're going to get the welder out and finish tacking this together. That way we can take it over the drill press and drill holes for the two spindles to come through. Ready? Oh, of course you are.
Okay, now it's on.
Yep, you're gonna have to reach up and grab the second one now.
How?
Just slide your hand up. I'll help you. Grab another one. I got it. Nope. You're right. It'll center. It'll kind of push it flat too. You're good. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Should probably put some lubricant on there, but we'll be alright for these two. there? You get her? I got it. Perfect. So here is the initial front end mocked up.
Well, it's not initial anymore.
We've got to make sure the steering's going to kind of work out. It's got a little more camber.
Yeah.
Or a little less camber than what the actual the pedal tractor has. I don't think camber and caster are going to be a huge deal. We may put sleeves in here instead of these shafts what they are, but we got the depth where we want, and we'll finish up all the welding and everything once we get everything kind of mocked up. But I think now we're going to try to take and set the rear axle on it again and kind of make sure it sits the way we want, and then we can kind of adjust the steering at that point. So we're going to set everything up to put that together and see what we can get figured out, and hopefully we can have it kind of rolling again here in a little bit. The tractor is mocked back up again. I didn't get the front end to drop quite as much, but I wanted to make sure it still had plenty of articulation. We could still actually put the steering arm on the top and retain all the factory stuff. It does kind of rub underneath the bottom of the tractor, and you don't get quite as much steering, but I think it'll be okay. With the way this is set up, if we don't have to redesign the wheel, yeah, it's gonna rub a little bit down in here, but I don't think it's going to be an issue actually. But when you stand back, we did get the front end to drop down probably a little bit more than a ½ inch. If you can see right here, this actually used to stick right at the bottom of that. So that right there is about how much we dropped it. I know it's not much, but it's just a little bit more to kind of get that front end down a little bit, because a lot of these pedal tractors kind of sit up in the front, and that's not the way a pulling tractor sits. So overall, that ain't too bad. We're gonna leave it mocked up like this for now. All right, so now we're gonna take and trim out the tractor a little bit so the steering clears. Then we're gonna cut this pipe. We're gonna round the edges of that axle. Weld caps on the end of it to kind of get a little bit better look, and maybe try to finish welding up the axle. We're gonna maybe try to start machining the bushings to fit down in here too, that way we can get the axle length cut the rest of the way. We're gonna be pushing it on time. I know it's still just the beginning of December, but we still gotta have it done for our Christmas present. Hopefully we make it. Hopefully we have the fabrication done it this week, then we should be able to get it. But we're gonna take the front end back off and do some grinding and cutting, and hopefully we can get this front end all welded back together. So we're gonna grab the welder. Just actually got a new Miller welder, so we're gonna be trying that basically for the first time tonight, other than playing with it a little bit last Friday. Maybe see if Jonathan can't help weld a little bit tonight. He's never really welded before. Otherwise, yeah, my cuts weren't great on the front of this, but we're gonna put these little caps on the end, weld everything up, kind of weld up in there too, kind of smooth everything off, and hopefully have this thing all welded together yet tonight. So we're gonna grab the extension cord, fire up the new welder, and put the two ends on it. this thing. I always kind of just use a piece of flat steel to bend a little front weight bracket. We'll actually make little suitcase weights out of wood. But it's kind of cut up in here in the frame, make sure it's going to clear the axle. We've got all of these are just 1/8 holes now. We'll actually drill and tap the garden tractor itself, and I tend to like to use button head bolts to put them in there. So I'll either get some stainless or chrome button head bolts to kind of hold them in there. I think it kind of finishes it off nice. The only thing we really have left to do is the wheelie bars, and the way I kind of do them is I just use round rod. Kind of gives that look of pipe, like what real wheelie bars are made out of. But then I just screw the 2 nuts that I use down in here. That way they kind of holds them in place, and then set everything up in there, and then weld everything together. When I get done, this is kind of the result that we have. I've got to kind of finish up all the welds and kind of finish all that stuff up yet. And then these will actually mount back on right about here. I'll be able to use the 1 bolt that was already in there to hold the casting together. We'll be able to use that one. We'll get them in there. We should be finishing up fabrication today, and then we'll move on to paint, which should be our next video. So I'm gonna get these welded up and get my last couple of holes drilled and kind of do our last fit, and then hopefully all the fabrication's done. And there we have it. All the fabrication should be done on this thing. Like to do more, we're just out of time. But we did get the big tires on the back. Yeah, I've got one on there backwards right now, but we got to split all that apart to paint everything. But we did get big tires on the back, along with some new, better bushings up in there. The custom front end that's going to drop the whole front of the tractor about 3/4 of an inch. Would have liked to got a little bit more, but that's kind of what happened, or what we ended up getting out of it. Little front weight bracket, and then the wheelie bars in the back. As you can tell by the date this video is coming out, this was supposed to be a Christmas present for a nephew of mine. We did not make it. It is currently the day after Christmas, and I'm here working in my shop trying to get this thing ready. Broke the news to him this week that his Christmas present is coming, and he will get it sometime soon. Next time you see this, we'll probably be in the paint booth for paint. And then for final assembly, where you will see it right before I go give it to my nephew. I want to thank everyone for watching. Again, if you like the content, subscribe. We are going to be working on bigger stuff. We've got my tractor, my wife's tractor. I have got a super stock garden tractor that's supposed to be showing up at the shop to have some paint work done. And because my tractors are getting bigger, we just went out and purchased a different trailer that we got to do some work on, so you'll get to see that as well. Like I say, if you like the content, subscribe, share. See you next time.